Hey there, this is Kristov Atlas from anonymousbitcoinbook.com and darknews.tv as well. And I just wanted to record a short video about some questions I've been receiving from readers of the book about TrueCrypt. Now, if you have read the book or if you check out the preview of the book at anonymousbitcoinbook.com, you'll see that I recommend TrueCrypt as a tool to encrypt files related to Bitcoin, to encrypt your Bitcoin private keys and any additional files that you may create in the process of generating a Bitcoin wallet, and files that you use to keep track of where your funds are, what addresses they're being kept at, what the balances are, and that kind of stuff. And you can do this in a later layered approach to have multiple layers of encryption that allows you to have online and offline volumes. And most importantly, you can back up all of this data safely in a number of digital mediums, such as cloud storage. It's a way of having your files backed up to many different locations without needing to revert to just having it in a physical medium, such as a paper wallet. You can have it back up in the cloud as well. Now, the questions started coming in after the TrueCrypt website was modified, basically shut down. It was left with this rather confusing message. And if you go to the TrueCrypt website right now, it says, "Warning, using TrueCrypt is not secure as it may contain unfixed security issues." And then it goes on to talk about using Microsoft BitLocker. And people were very confused by this message because A, there was no previous indication that TrueCrypt was unsafe to use, and B, everyone pretty much knows that Microsoft BitLocker is not a good alternative. It's most likely backdoored. It's a proprietary closed source piece of software, and so it's not any kind of adequate substitution for TrueCrypt. And this led to some speculation about possible hidden meanings within the content of this new version of the TrueCrypt website. There's a good article on CoinTelegraph that talks about some possible ways of reading into the message. So the not secure as part of the warning message, that could potentially stand for NSA. If you take the first letter of several of the words in the sentence, you get this Latin phrase uti NSA imqc, which roughly translate in Latin to unless I want to use the NSA. And so there was some speculation that perhaps the NSA intervened in some way with the TrueCrypt development. These TrueCrypt developers are, to us, pseudonymous. We don't know their real identities. And that either that the TrueCrypt might not be safe to use, or at the very least they were forced to stop developing TrueCrypt. So a number of people have weighed in on this issue about whether TrueCrypt is safe to use at this point. And I was particularly interested in the opinion of Steve Gibson, who is a well-respected security expert and researcher. And he runs the Security Now podcast, which has been running for many years. And he wrote an in-depth blog article post about this issue. And basically what Steve says is, yes, TrueCrypt is still safe to use. You can still access the old versions of TrueCrypt, and there's no reason to believe that they've been compromised in any way. And basically Steve says most likely what happened was the people working on TrueCrypt either got bored of working on it or they were forced to stop working on it for some reason. Perhaps they put up this Warrant Canary because they were being coerced by some government entity to try to either modify the source in a negative way or to simply shut down the website, and they went with the latter. But either way, we still have these existing versions of TrueCrypt, and they seem to be safe to use. They're open source, and there's no reason to believe that they're not safe to use. So if you want to go to Steve's website, just do a Google search for TrueCrypt GRC, because his website is grc.com, and you'll find that he has, in addition to this blog article, he has hosted all of the TrueCrypt installation files for Windows, OS X, Linux, etc. In addition, he has linked to a website that gives a SHA-256 hash of all of these different files. So if you want to download the file and verify the integrity of the file, make sure that it's not been modified in any kind of malicious way, you can also go to this website and try to double check that. And I'll also link in this video to some instructions on how to verify these SHA-256 hashes. There's instructions for OS X, which also work for Linux as well. You can use the OpenSSL command to compute the SHA-256 hash. And there's also a number of different tools that are linked to on this webpage that give you this ability in Windows as well to calculate the SHA-256 hash of a file. And then you can compare the output of that to this website that lists all the correct hashes for the file. Now, if for any reason, of course, you don't trust TrueCrypt, if you don't trust the expert opinion of Steve Gibson and other people that have recommended continuing to use TrueCrypt, you can always go with alternatives. So Tails Linux comes with the LUKS or Luke's standard encryption package for Linux. Just keep in mind that it's not going to be cross-platform compatible. So if you decrypt your files in Tails, you won't be able to later decrypt them in Windows or OS X. And you'll be restricted to dealing with these files only in Linux. You can still copy them around and back them up and so forth. You just won't be able to decrypt them on any other operating system. And there's been also some talk of continuing the development of TrueCrypt by a new team of developers in the future. So keep an eye out for that. So I would definitely encourage people to continue to use TrueCrypt. Download it from now on from the grc.com website. And let me know if you have any follow-up questions about this topic. Thanks so much for watching.